Hello, everybody, and welcome to a MerlinCast. It's been a while, and I've got a standard guest here. It's been a while, though, man.
'Tis me, the troll.
Troll has returned. Do you remember the last podcast you were part
No.
of? Well, it was for my birthday after you got me the He-Man movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it. So,
Masters of the Universe.
well, I've had you over for a while, and it's kind of interesting the things we kind of pick up and decide to watch. Well, I don't know why. Did you suggest watching GoldenEye randomly? Was that you or was that me? I can't remember.
It was probably me.
I think it was you because you were like, I want to watch this movie again. And we decided to watch it. And a bunch were on Netflix. We said, let's watch all the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies because he's your favorite Bond, right?
He's up there. Sean Connery, I will always agree, is like the best James Bond. But Sean Connery, it's kind of funny. Sean Connery is Sean Connery, no matter what role he plays. Like he's too big of a personality, I guess, to be swallowed up in a role. Whereas Pierce Brosnan, when I think of Bond, that's why I immediately go to, just because he seems to just become the role and just be James Bond.
No, I agree with that. I actually feel like, I kind of grew up watching a lot of the James Bond movies. I think I've seen most of them, but Pierce Brosnan's always been up there for me.
Especially because GoldenEye. Like, that's a huge thing for our generation for multiple reasons.
Yeah, I liked the movie, and I know I watched it as a kid, but it was definitely the game, man.
Played the hell of a lot of the game.
Loved that game.
It's definitely the first James Bond movie I remember seeing.
Well, I wanted to actually, I guess since we decided to just kind of watch all four, I just kind of a thing we decided to do.
Yeah.
I figured let's kind of quickly talk about them because that is partially what I want to do in this podcast, but there's a bit of a twist, which I want to keep you surprised about because I thought it was interesting when it came to me. So, all right, that's GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough, and we just watched Die Another Day.
Yes.
So, going through them, how did you feel about the four Pierce Brosnan movies overall?
I think they kind of... GoldenEye is definitely my favorite. I think it's the best one out there. Do I remember is that the next one?
Yes, with I forget the guy from Michelle Yeoh as the Chinese agent.
Michelle Yeoh definitely elevates that movie. I think it's not quite as good as GoldenEye, but that's definitely number 2 on my list. The piece of crap third one. That none of us we watched it not long ago, and we still can't remember anything about that movie.
Last week we watched it. Can't remember a thing about that one.
It has the guy who played
Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time, and he's way better than everything else I've ever seen him in.
He's so boring.
Like, he's in 28 weeks later too. He's a stand-up actor. He's really great. He just sucks in this movie. The whole thing is that he's slowly dying because a bullet is slowly working through his brain, but he becomes more powerful as he does because he can't feel anything or some shit.
Yeah, he's like numb to pain, and it's silly even by James Bond standards.
And spoiler alert, the one chick turns out to be a bad guy the whole time for the dumbest fucking reasons possible.
That one did not work, and I still don't know exactly why, because there were things about it I kind of liked, like the Russian guy we liked from GoldenEye came back.
Yeah, him and Pierce Brosnan were trying their best.
But there wasn't much to that movie.
And then we just watched Die Another Day, which is silly but fun.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Troll. The feelings you have about the movies are pretty much the same for me. With GoldenEye, I think most people think that's the best. It's like one of the best James Bond movies. It's definitely his best.
It's one of my favorites.
I'll admit, even as a kid, and I think still after watching them again, Tomorrow Never Dies has always been my favorite. I don't know if I'd say
it's not a bad choice. It's a good movie.
I don't think it's better necessarily than GoldenEye, but can you guess why I like that one a little bit more? It's pretty major part of the movie.
Pretty major part of the movie. China?
Well, I do like the Chinese element to it for sure, but first of all, I guess it's a combination of just the villain and his plan.
Yeah, that guy is completely balls-to-wall crazy, and it's great.
With the whole, like...
and you get his plan. It's interesting. It's insane, but you understand it. You get it.
It's kind of easy to grasp onto. Like, oh, yeah, I just want to start wars so I can write headlines and build up my media corporation. It's timely. And he plays it so devilishly and having a great time, just so over the top.
He's fucking loving how fucking evil and horrible he is.
So I love a good villain. I think that Sean Bean has probably the most complex... maybe some of the... Daniel Craig movies go deeper into that, but
he's just evil James Bond, basically.
He's just evil James Bond, but he's probably one of the more straightforward, not over the top, goofy villains.
Yeah, he just kind of has Two-Face look going on, and crazy, sexy henchwoman.
Yes, one of your favorite things about GoldenEye is
Yes.
Famke Janssen. Yes,
Famke Janssen is
Zinnia
amazing.
on a top. She is great.
On the top? On the top.
On a top. On the top.
I do love naval bonding girls. I hope they never stop.
No, that some traditions they got to keep up. But pretty much, World Is Not Enough. Forgot about it years ago. Watched it again and was bored through most of it.
Yeah.
And then a week later, I barely remember.
The entire time we were just talking, why doesn't this work?
We were just trying to figure out why isn't this good. And it's like I guess it was just because James Bond was like so caring about this woman
Out of nowhere.
and like really fell for her, even though
Especially she was obviously
so evil, obviously evil, and it was just like I don't know. It kind of dragged. The villain wasn't compelling, and we saw a lot more of the villain, and he wasn't that intimidating.
And their plan didn't make any sense. Like you don't really find out what the fuck it's supposed to be through most of it. And then once you do, like, you want to make a nuclear sub meltdown?
I guess because they wanted to get revenge.
Alex blew up and destroyed a city. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah, it wasn't a well explained plan. I didn't particularly like that one, but Diner of the Day I feel like is the one that gets hated on the most when people talk about it.
Because of the bad CGI. It has a lot of bad CGI, which I will grant you.
All right.
However, it is a way more fun sit than
World Is Not Enough.
World's Not Enough, yeah.
I mean, I could tell it's very much like early 2000s, a lot of slow-mo, speed up. Like, there are some things that are a little dated, but it's more interesting and fun than the other one. Stuff's happening, and I like the villain a lot. I think Halle Berry was fun in it.
The villains were great in this one. Like
the henchman?
Even, like, the henchman with the diamonds in his face, he had a great sense of humor about it. He kind of got what was going on. He knew he was a henchman to a supervillain. You can tell.
And Mr. Kill.
Mr. Kill, random fucking other henchman guy, Mr. Kill.
He's like, kill her, take her out. Oh, I'm gonna use the laser. Like he's just like he's gonna do the most.
It's like fine.
And he's got the giant space laser.
And the bad guy is like this huge supervillain. He's like, it's just a briefcase. And I need you to be fine. It's like, turns out this weird armor that he wears.
He gets his own like exoskeleton. He looks like a supervillain.
He has an electro gauntlet. He ordered an electro gauntlet. It's like, make me an electro gauntlet.
And I mean, I liked the fact that this one was just kind of like really was having fun and felt like it was an homage to older James Bond movies. It was sillier.
And the evil chicks, like, and there's a lot of there's sword fighting in it. That's
the
a
sword
big one.
fight.
The sword fight scene was great, and then like the one evil chick's also like a Olympian sword fighter. And
of course,
shit. Yeah.
A lot of good henchmen.
Yeah, I think Jinx's character was a little underwritten. I think Halle Berry could have done more with that if they gave her more.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, she's kind of one of the weaker things about this movie, and I still know she's a decent actress. So it was just like
Halle Berry could have definitely done better if they gave her more to do.
Yeah, but she was having fun with it, I think.
Yeah,
and I was thinking, like, okay, some of her line delivery isn't the best, but then I think about some of the older Bond girls. I'm like, it's always been kind of cheesy, so I wasn't too hard on that. But basically, we kind of agree on generally the movies.
Yeah.
I think you might like GoldenEye a little more than I do, but I think it's a great movie.
And you like Tomorrow Never Dies a little more than I do, but I still think it's a great movie.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
We both agree that The World's Not Enough is the shittiest one.
and Diner of the Day is silly, but fun, right? Can you guess where I'm going to go with this podcast?
Hit me.
Okay. Well, as I was thinking about these, I'm like, well, we should probably talk about these James Bond movies. And then I realized something. Kind of thinking about the life cycle of these movies. There are 4 of them. Do you know what series this kind of reminds me of?
Batman.
The Tim Burton Batman movies.
Well, the Tim Burton and
Schumacher ones. And the Tim Burton Schumacher movies remind me a lot of the Pierce Brosnan movies.
You know what? This is exactly the same. I like the first one. You like the first one. I love the first one. You like the first one a lot, but the second one's your favorite. I like the second one a lot.
Uh-huh.
The third one's a piece of shit, and the fourth one's actually really silly.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. That works.
I thought that was so weird, and I'm like, I wonder why that is. I don't know. And that's just an excuse to talk about Batman a little bit.
I guess.
So let's think about that. Think about it. If you think about it too, it's interesting. Like the James Bond movie came out like 5-6 years later, but they lasted about the same amount of time for his career, like 7-8 years. So it's like the same kind of little mini series of movies.
Well, Batman and James Bond are similar in a lot of ways. They're both like
gadgets.
Gadgets, idealized males who are good at everything except for like close personal relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They both come from wealth, money, and prestige, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah.
They're both throw themselves literally into their work. They both have very dangerous jobs. They both try and save the world in their own ways.
Has there ever been a crossover?
I don't think so.
There should be.
That'd be weird. I don't know where that would go. But yeah.
Hey, it should happen. But
or at the very least, they could do like on Elseworlds where Batman's more of a James Bond type guy.
Or like a silly versus thing might be fun. Where they
Fun,
hate each other in the beginning, going after Batman. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that really lines up incredibly well.
And I'm like, well, I don't know. It might take us somewhere.
And expensive cars.
And expensive cars. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. But like,
can you connect like the Nolan movies with the recent Bond movies the same way?
Well, actually, yeah, because think about it. After those ones kind of tank because they have a really silly ending, they go back to darker, grittier roots, like the Daniel Craig movies with the Christian Bale Nolan ones.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how like the feelings of the audience, the culture at the time reacted the same way to their action heroes. Same thing.
I think after those, there's also a similar thing where fans both afterwards were like, you know what, we're done with we don't need as much grim, gray reality. We gotta get back to the also over top silliness and supervillains for fuck's sake.
Yes, and we're kind of going back that direction a little bit. So, yeah, man. I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting thing to bring up, and you know,
that was really
isn't that weird?
Cool, interesting thing, yeah.
And I don't know if that's like our taste or that's just kind of the way the movies are, but that's how I feel because I also thought
I feel like a lot of people hate Batman and Robin more than Batman Forever, but in a way, I think the ways that Batman and Robin is worse than Batman Forever makes it more watchable, you know?
Yeah, but I know we've been talking about that a lot, so I thought maybe a good point to talk about it here. Like, Batman Forever is definitely the one of the four I've watched the least.
It's the least entertaining out of the four. Like, the first two are entertaining because they're good, the last one's entertaining because it's real bad. But they kind of know it's bad, you know?
And Batman Forever doesn't know it's bad?
No.
No.
Brain drain!
All right, let me ask you, was there a time growing up, did you ever like Batman Forever? Like as a kid? Were you more okay with it? I thought I was okay with it as a kid, but I never remembered loving it.
Yeah. I was in denial, I think. Because I love Batman and Batman Returns so much. Then the next Batman movie came out. It was kind of like the Star Wars effect, where like it's gotta be good. It's Batman.
It's gotta be good. It's Batman.
And then my two favorite characters are Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy. So yeah, fuck. So when I was a kid, I was truly into the last movie.
All right, well that's interesting, man, because I remember for a long time you did not like Batman and Robin, but taste changed, thoughts changed. You've kind of come around on it, like a lot of people have.
It's still a piece of shit movie.
Sure,
it really is. It's just an entertaining piece of shit movie. I think I've since I've kind of because I watched Mystery Science Theater as a kid, I always had kind of appreciation of old shitty movies. But now I understand. But now it's old enough that I can lump it in with the old shitty movies.
So it's like you appreciate it for the camp and the badness. Yeah. Is it also because I feel like when we first started hanging out years ago, I felt like you did not appreciate Adam West as much. I feel like you've appreciated him a lot more in recent years.
No, I grew up loving Adam West. I actually grew up with watching the old Adam West show. I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay, so really,
I was one of those people who was able to see it's a different version of Batman. It's funny, but he still punches people out.
Okay, because I remember a lot of people for a long time were like, "Oh man, the Adam West Batman." It kind of was hated on for a while. And then it got dropped pretty quickly. Now people appreciate it again. But I think it's like Batman. It's like after Burton came out, Batman could be dark and gritty, and a lot of people didn't know that. It's like they almost abandoned it for a while.
You need Batman like James Bond kind of needs to be in that
sweet spot.
One sweet spot between the two extremes.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean that's kind of an interesting parallel. Actually, you're right. I don't know. Admiring some of the stuff in here, the artwork.
Yeah, you got some awesome artwork up here. You have for guys you don't know, he has has wall things. He has Amazing Fantasy number.
Oh man, the 39. Oh man, that's so bad. I don't know. Oh no.
It should be up there. What the fuck?
Well, it's not. It's not obviously not the. If it was the official, it wouldn't be that.
Yeah, it's a wall hanging. It's not the actual comic.
No, Honey Lemon got me that for I think for Christmas, but yeah.
They put the comics code thing on there, but not. The first one was Spider-Man. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, the first appearance of Spider-Man.
And then two Batman ones.
Which did I ever tell you the story about those?
No.
All right, I'm going to tell you a story because I don't think I've ever talked about this on the channel. Those are actually a gift from a subscriber.
That's awesome.
They gave me those, and also this Maximum Carnage like limited edition thing or something. So it's cool. These are like we're gonna describe them, I guess, because I don't think I've showed them. They're like these giant blown up reprints from the 70s or something. So they were limited. I don't even know. I didn't.
Look great.
They're cool. They're from the Neil Adams run.
I was gonna say that because you can tell Neil Adams Batman. You really can. He's
blue.
He's the blue and gray one with the sharp looking ears.
And I always liked that style. You know, a lot of the stories written during that time were inspired for Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, yeah.
They ripped a lot of stuff straight from that.
He's the one who invented Man-Bat, right?
Yep. And there's
Ra's al Ghul?
Yes. Or that might be Denny O'Neil is the writer. Yeah. Neil Adams is the artist. I'm correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's those two guys wrote some of the most classic Batman stories.
Oh man, that was back when is that the original Catwoman outfit still?
I think so. Yeah. She'd still be wearing that, I guess.
Back when Two-Face scar side was green.
Yes, they still carried some of that over from the 40s.
Yeah.
I got a random question for you.
Oh.
What's your favorite look for Catwoman? Because you probably hate mine. You'll hate it.
You know, Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer, like, damn.
Okay.
Batman Returns.
All right. Besides Batman Returns, like in comics.
In comics. I kind of like when she got her own series and she got like her. She changed up her costume so she didn't look like Catwoman anymore because she had performed at the time.
Okay.
And it's the modern one where she's got massive goggles and like a leather outfit with like a big ring that's carrying to a zipper.
You know, man, I could never get past the goggles.
Goggles took me a bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
The goggles did take me a bit, but I kind of like the idea behind it, where it's like functional and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it makes sense for like burglarizing or whatever she's doing, jumping across roofs.
Don't say Jared. Don't say the Nolan one.
Oh no! I was thinking comics. Comics.
Okay.
It was kind of a modernized version of the classic look where remember in Long Halloween?
Yeah.
She's got basically just with her long hair flowing out.
Yeah.
But it's all, I think, purple.
Yeah.
I really liked that one.
That one was a good one. I'm not going to lie.
For some reason.
The tail is kind of weird.
I like the tail. She's got to have a tail.
That's
She's
what the whip is supposed to symbolize.
It could like retract it. You know? I don't know. I kind of like the tail. I don't know.
But yeah, the purple suit is really good. Yeah, I think that would be my second favorite.
Okay, cool. Now I have an interesting question about Batman, but I'm not exactly sure where I think I might have lost it. That's what it was. Since about Catwoman, didn't they get married for a while? Are they still married?
She left him at the altar.
Okay. All right.
Tom King, by the way, not only can he not write Batman, but he's a piece of shit. He tried to cancel like another person for no goddamn reason because he made like a alternate cover for a Cyberpunk comic. That's why he decided to turn all of fucking try to turn all Twitter against him and make him like lose his job and shit.
Oh, I didn't know about that. All right. I know you aren't a fan of him, and I
wasn't a fan of his work before. I never had anything against the man personally until he did that. Fuck that man. He's a piece of shit.
Hey, I've been out of the loop with this stuff. I had a question for you about this because I know that I think the interesting balance with superhero comics, which we often talk about and sometimes complain about, is kind of like that balance of maintaining the status quo and the core of the character, but still trying to introduce new stories that keep things fresh. How do you feel about that old resistance to characters kind of growing? Like, was there a resistance, you think, to Batman getting married and settling down?
How'd you feel about it? I feel like a lot of people were reading comics specifically for that once it came up. Because that's been a big thing a lot of fans of the pairing of the two characters have been into.
For a long time, yeah.
And then the fact that they
didn't
weasel out at the very end was bullshit. Like, it wasn't well written, but it was at least something for people to look forward to. But
I'd be cool with them being married.
I would have been cool with them being married.
Different.
Like, I prefer him with Wonder Woman personally.
Yeah,
but
you'll have to talk more about that too, because we never talked about that on here either.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Batman Wonder Woman pairing. And
why then Catwoman though over Catwoman? That's because I know she's probably number one for people.
Writing wise, it never really works out because the problem with them is that they would both have to change. Okay. She would have to change in order to get Batman because the problem is that she's there's a character flaw in Catwoman, which is awesome, and it should still kind of be there, is that she's selfish.
Okay.
And Batman's very selfless, and that's where they're kind of like, she doesn't like just have him go off like forever and like do stuff, and even when she tries to do stuff with him, it doesn't really work out. It's like it's a relationship that I like that it happens, but it's not very long lasting, I think.
So you think it couldn't have worked in?
Nah, like it worked in like Earth 2 because she got pregnant and then she decided to just stop being Catwoman altogether, which is never going to happen in actual, like,
of course not,
regular comic. And if you play Injustice 2, if you beat like if you find like the Catwoman story ending, that's exactly what I think happened. She marries Bruce and then she leaves him at some point to go do Catwoman stuff. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But her and him, I don't know.
Yeah, well, for some people, I'm sure that's a thing.
But for Batman and Wonder Woman, I think they work really well together, and they always have really good sexual tension. They have very similar in a lot of good ways, and very different in a lot of other good ways. And they just kind of work in comics and in stories, obviously. Like everyone saw in the Justice League cartoon show, where it worked out really well, and people wanted more of it. And then that's been going on in comics forever, though. You can see, like, in Brave and the Bold comics, whenever they're around each other and whenever in comics, there is always, like, some nice friction that goes along with it.
I know you're always annoyed by the Wonder Woman Superman thing because they're just powerful.
Well, it's just badly written.
Yeah, do you think it could be better written?
I don't know, because it only comes up when people want to write Superman, like, nailing the best, most awesomest chick ever. And she never acts like Wonder Woman. Fucking the last time they hooked up, Wonder Woman got into journalism and stuff like. No, the Wonder Woman's not getting into journalism to be with Superman. Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman. She doesn't have the free time to take on the journalism job.
I think, wasn't she originally a diplomat? Wasn't that like her side gig, her secret cover?
Yeah, she's a diplomat.
She's got to go places.
Yeah, she's a diplomat because she doesn't really have a secret identity most of the time. Yeah, she's a diplomat who works with the UN and shit, or she works with Human Affairs. She is not a reporter. It's so obvious that they try to force her into being more like fucking Lois Lane in order to be with them. It's like, it's just stupid. Like, that always happens. Or they make her this bloodthirsty man-hating misandrist who hates all men except for Superman because he has the super dick. That's how Frank Miller fucking rates her. And you know what? I love Frank Miller Batman. I really do. Well, before All-Star Batman.
Dark Knight Returns and stuff. Yeah, Year One. And
but even in good stories, it's the worst part. Like in Kingdom Come, their relationship is the worst part of the fucking book. Superman doesn't care about her. He goes around the entire time lamenting the loss of Lois Lane. It says the one time they kiss, that's like marble scraping against steel. That some people think is really romantic, but to me it just sounds horrific.
It sounds pretty bad to me.
It's just terrible. Like, even when it happens in good stories, it's bad. It just never comes... I've never read a good story. I've never read it... I've never seen or read it done well.
Well, I like to think it's possible, but I'm not familiar with it. I never really was interested that much in Batman's love interests. I think him and Catwoman... I always like that kind of on and off and on tension. Yeah. But I agree with you. I think that... all right, the thing about Batman...
It's very... Like, I still like the relationship. I still like the pairing, but I don't think it has, like, long legs to it.
Sure, and I don't either.
But it's not one that I incredibly dislike. Those are like Batman and Joker, which is awful for every reason.
There's this weird sexual tension thing that they...
No, there really isn't.
There isn't.
But people decided to add to it, yeah.
Well, all right. Well,
and Barbara Gordon and Batman is something that I'm tired of seeing stuff now. That's just horrible.
Well, look.
I'm against Batcest.
the Killing Joke thing, you know...
It was also on Batman Beyond.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
Bruce Timm even say he just did because it seemed wrong. I'm like,
man,
yes, it does.
Proves.
She's like his niece. It's fucking wrong.
That's weird. I've always seen Barbara as kind of, like a daughter. She's one of his... She's
like his niece. She's the daughter of his best friend.
Family.
It's fucked up.
He's with Dick Grayson. Okay, so in terms of that, I think you can blame the sexual tension, weird dichotomy between Joker and Batman on Frank Miller too, because that's kind of where that originated, his obsession. Of course, it was one-sided mostly.
Yeah, once one-sided, it's fine. Even then, it's not my favorite version. But then again, I think the Joker's getting way too much.
You've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
It's not slowing down at all.
Well,
and now they have a second one, The Batman Who Laughs. So he's just the fucking Joker, only scarier or more powerful or some shit. It's so stupid.
He's more powerful?
Huh?
He's more powerful. How?
Well, he's just because he's Batman. He's got Batman.
Oh, that guy.
The Batman Who Laughs, yeah.
Well,
and that's just getting stupid because I'm like, oh my god, it's the Superman who laughs, it's the Dr. Manhattan who laughs, or these things like this is so stupid. God, he was great for the story he was brought in for, but then they try to keep him around and he's awful for everything else.
Was that part of the Dark Knight Metal stuff?
Yeah,
that guy, right?
Yeah, but if he would have just died like all the other Dark Knights did in that one, not showing up again, it would have been fine.
You know what? I'm glad we actually could talk about this because it was actually I pretty much don't read many comics except for the stuff you give me. You think it's good. You're like, okay, you'll like this. You like this, Joe, and I think it was funny. You gave me the Dark Knight Metal stuff to lead up to something else. Like you said that was fine, but you thought I would really like the totality, but I had to read a bunch of stuff to understand what was going on with that. And you were right. I really liked that one a lot. But Dark Knight Metal was awesome. I actually agree with you though. Yeah. I liked the Elseworlds origins for each of the different Batman. Yeah. Probably the most of that.
Actually, I think the one with the worst Elseworld origin is the Batman Who Laughs. Like, oh yeah, I was near the Joker when he died, now I breathed in this evil Joker stuff, now I just turned into Joker.
Well, that's lazy.
That was fine back when I was in...
That one story?
Well, yeah, but also...
Crossover. Yeah.
It's also like the Dark Universe I thought was just supposed to be nightmares. That's why Dream shows up. Yeah. It's like the nightmare world, so he's not real.
No.
They're both nightmares. They're fears that Bruce Wayne has. Mm-hmm. Like he's afraid that if he kills the Joker, he'll become just like him. That's the entire fear that makes up the Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah.
But then in later things, they try to make it an actual thing, which is so fucking stupid.
Well, to be fair, man. To be fair, this is comics. They could totally make him come and be an actual villain.
No. They actually did a thing where if the Joker dies, the person next to him gets the gas thing and becomes the Joker thing, and they did that in this terrible fucking Dark Batman Who Laughs miniseries.
So I haven't read that. So that means that the Joker is he's more than just a person. He's
yeah, he has this weird toxin part of him now. It's like that was fine for that story because that story was supposed to be a nightmare. It was supposed to be symbiotic, a metaphor. Actually, making it real is just stupid.
I will admit. I mean, the classic, contrast between them is always a great metaphor.
Yeah.
Which is really weird because it's.
I prefer when they hate each other.
But it still works. I mean, no, but all right. The best stuff is when Batman's reflecting on it and thinking about killing him, like in Hush.
But they keep doing that now.
They did that because in Hush it was really good.
That was that's their one trick. It's their one trick pony thing.
Do they still do it?
Yeah. I've yet to read a Joker thing where Joker shows up with Batman. He hasn't brought up a whole "why don't you kill me" Batman thing in fucking years.
Just don't talk about it. That's what your solution's always been.
Just come up with actual stuff for Joker to do instead of just doing that.
All right. Well, with Batman, you brought up how much like James Bond, you think there has to be that sweet spot, right? Now, okay. How dark do you think is too dark for Batman? When does it stop becoming fun? Because I'll tell you what, you were talking about, I know that you kind of like the Bat family, possibly him having a relationship.
Here, I'll get one.
Okay.
Well, you see, Mr. Wayne, you have no cartilage in your knee. You have all these terrible injuries, despite how short of a period you're a Batman.
That's just not a movie that.
There you go. That's my explanation there.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that's my answer. That's where things are too dark, gritty, and realistic.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not so much the edginess that bothers you, just the grimness, the bleakness.
Edginess can be bad too, but it's you gotta. I don't know. You gotta have. There's gotta be some lighthearted sense of humor in something.
Well, yeah, for sure, especially because it is comic books. But I think more than any other superhero, and I think a lot of people would agree with this. I think you probably would too. One of the coolest things about Batman, in terms of the drive of his character, is his obsession. Mm-hmm. You're right, he's selfless, but he's so committed to being Batman. Mm-hmm. Now, I kind of think that's it kind of leads into some interesting flaws potentially for him. Like you said, having a hard time connecting and trusting people. I like that. Like my ideal for Batman is, you know how in the animated series he kind of gets kind of darker and more bitter as he gets older, and we see the culmination of that in Batman Beyond.
Well, yeah, but I think that might be an alternate universe, though, because...
Is it for that?
It's not supposed to be, but he's just so different in Justice League.
Well, I guess something happens between the two shows.
Maybe, but I do love how in Justice League, how he seems to lighten up more when he's around other superheroes and he's friends with other superheroes and stuff.
Maybe that is the one.
Like exception. They give him hope, and they in a way, and he feels like there's a light at the end of this tunnel because there's all these amazing people around.
You know, that is true. That is part of it. I guess I just noticed that throughout those series, if you watch the early Batman animated series stuff, he's
a lot lighter.
He's lighter. He also makes more mistakes. He gets his ass kicked more, but he gets more and more badass as the shows go on.
Well, he levels up.
He levels up, and he gets like more menacing. He gets scarier, and I like that. And I just see.
It makes sense why he gets grimmer because more and more terrible things happen to him throughout the show until like in the last season, which has the different art style.
I didn't really like that transition personally.
Yeah, but still, you kind of get the fact that he's like this darker, more brooding guy. He doesn't see the fun life as much as before. But then once he joins Justice League more, he's like, there might be. It's kind of funny because Bruce Wayne. The old joke is that Bruce Wayne's an ass and Batman's the real him.
Yeah,
you can really tell because all of his friends and family are connected to the Batman persona. Like he never mentions anyone from his Bruce Wayne persona at all. He doesn't give a fuck about them all. It's kind of like, what's James Bond doing when he's not a spy? Fuck off.
All right. Well, this is inevitable. I know the answer. Okay, so obviously, if James Bond went up against Batman would win if we had time. We all know this. But how good of a fight do you think it would be? What's James Bond's biggest advantage? Does he have any?
He uses guns.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
He's definitely... Who do you think has more gadgets?
Batman.
With the utility belt?
Yeah.
He's got everything. He's got the shark repellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman's just kind of James Bond to an nth degree, really.
You know what? I'll tell you what. In close quarters, I think Batman would take him down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, James Bond's a good fighter, but Batman knows every martial art, right?
James Bond's more of a hit and run type guy.
Yeah, get you from far away, try to sideswipe you quickly, and just
stay
get
on
the
the
advantage.
move, yeah.
Yep, that's true. Well, all right. What would the ideal versus be then, or crossover? What version of Bond would you like to see? Would you like to?
I don't even know, man. Like, I don't even know how they cross over. Like James Bond trying to infiltrate Gotham City to do something or something, and Batman sees him like chows him the entire time.
He might. Well, I would think it would be more likely that James Bond would have to go investigate this Bruce Wayne guy, see what he's up to. Maybe somebody's trying to frame him for developing some weird weapon. He thinks Bruce Wayne's a supervillain. take
But they both end up taking on the same supervillain.
Exactly, in the end. Yeah. But there has to be a misunderstanding so they can fight. Do you think Sean Connery and Adam West, would that be good? That'd be perfect, right? Same time, same camp. That'd be great. They fight Goldfinger.
Pierce Brosnan and Michael Keaton.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Interesting armor. It's Japanese. You bought it in Japan.
Like what? Actually, he's got some culture. Yeah, man. So yeah, that was
actually fuck fighting. I want to see them play poker against each other.
Ooh,
that'd be amazing.
That's an even better idea.
Like playing cards against each other.
That'd be really cool. Nah, man, but that was basically just my main idea for the podcast. Was just like bringing that up because it just kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Hey, I think we went over a good amount of stuff on this.
Yeah, man. Hey, yeah, we can cut it off soon. Do you have anything you'd like to add? Any final thoughts? Anything for Troll? Anything you want to get out? Anything?
I think fuck Tom King was my most clear thing.
I knew you didn't like him, but I didn't know he was pulling stuff like that. Yeah.
I didn't really have a problem with him as a person until that shit came up.
Gotcha.
And now he's gonna do like Adam Strange. He's gonna fuck him up like he fucks up everything he puts his hands on.
Man.
All right, I'm done. This is Troll sign out.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Hopefully we'll have Troll on again soon. Tell us what you think. Batman, James Bond, What's the connection? What's the comparison? All right. Stay magical, everyone.